Ani, Bojo, Kwekwe, Tanzi, Scano. It's Catherine and Brian, bringing you our Indigenous perspective on all things in life, using cartomancy and channeling. And this is a totally unexpected video that we're doing today. I had every expectation that the two videos we shoot today would be strictly about fall equinox, which comes in on the 22nd. So the energies build toward it, and the energies continue, and then we have a new moon right thereafter on the 23rd of September. Spirit indicated in my meditations today that they wanted me to talk about relationships, love and relationships. It's a topic I abhor. I do not want to read readings about love and my sweetheart who left me coming back again, because 99 times out of 100, the person sitting there already knows where the relationship is going. And this is a desperation grab to come for readings like that. This is not about individuals, however. What I understand, we had a little meditative time there before lunch earlier today, and and a nap because we're old. And no, there's an urgent need, I'm told by Spirit, to discuss relationships for the collective, because there's a lot of transition in relationships toward the end of 2025 and into 2026. So if this is an overarching experience for many people, however that turns out will be different for lots of people. The way of right relationship is a huge hallmark of the teachings of my Indigenous ancestors and elders. So this is a much bigger picture. And so I was cringing as I pulled out decks about love, that this reading might be misunderstood as something kind of benign and silly. No, it was really meant for it to be done today, because we are starting this cycle of evolving in relationships, which may include the termination of relationships. And it does seem to be significant relationships. Could be friendships, that sort of thing. But it was important for me to get out the Valentine's-like reading cards, as well as the ones I would want to hear from, like Rumi and the great Eastern mystics, anything from the Sufi world. I was surprised when I asked Brian to douse for Khalil Gibran that wasn't part of today. One of the greatest authors on love. So I'll show you the decks that we've pulled out after much haranguing, because that shouldn't take a long time to connect with the decks that are supposed to be here. But it did, because I was kind of battling with Spirit about, really? I have to talk about this? Where's my free will? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Here are the decks. This is Heart and Soul. by Tony Carmine Salerno. The Rumi Oracle by Alana Fairchild. I don't know how well that's transferring on screen. The Heart Tarot, and this is by Maria Di Stefano. These boxes are so big I have to pass them along. Can I pass that to you, dear? I did get in my request, Seasons of the Witch for Maybon. The Artist Decoded Tarot, because while it has angels and loving aspects, it's the shadow deck. Whispers of Love, which is an oracle by Angela Hartfield. A different Rumi oracle, and this one was Eric Hanut and Michelle Weatherby. Wait, there's more. The Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle. This is the one I really wanted for this and Seasons of the Witch, but that's Terry Foss. The Goddess of Love Tarot, which usually sits in my box with all the roses. The Lover's Path Tarot Set by, her last name is Waldher. Yeah, Chris Waldher. And I did have a Jane Lyle set out, but it was so big. It was a major arcana set. Those would have been the only cards we could have got on the table. So that got chopped. So I hope you can receive this information, understanding that there's the collective overture, but there may in fact be individual bits of information for us in our personal walk. And I think one of the cards that came out, I hoped it would come out, and it did. So this aligns more with how I'm thinking this should be going. There are no cards for moon cycles saying when, the timeline of this reading, because this is a life reading. This has no boundaries. All right, Brian, I'm sucking it up. Flip, oh, you have flipped to the cards. Okay. So, mercifully, we have the Queen of Arrows as our significator. This is the Queen of Swords. This is a mature woman, typically as a court card, who is possibly widowed, has lost love, certainly has had her fair share of good partners and shitty partners, if I can be so blunt. I let that out because she is blunt, and if something doesn't jive, off with its head. So she's represented here by Venus, the sense that Venus can help to adjudicate the right kind of partner and keep tripping us up until we pay attention to that which is meant for us. It's also about recognizing the need to be in alignment, our yin and yang, the male and female, if you want to call it that, parts of self, or the recessive, introspective, and the externalized, extrovertish parts of self. We have to be in balance within ourselves before we can be in the way of right relationship with a partner. So, let me see. I don't know these cards well, so I have to have a good look. Oh, well, this is the World. So, the World card is the completion of a karmic cycle. Yeah, Well, in the bigger picture, if she's a widow, her widowhood is the end of one karmic cycle and the beginning of another in terms of journeys. Basically, when we know how to analyze potential partners, but also analyze what is going on in a relationship that may be challenged or dying. What's going on here? And with astute clarity, where does it fit in our life's journey? Where can we bring this knowledge and say, can I save this one? Is it time to go? Can I move on to other things? And that's not without pain. This queen has certainly experienced her fair share, but it's given her the wisdom and the maturity, again, to know what to do. This is followed, this queen, by the awakening, which in this deck is the Sun card. And it's all about opportunities. Awakening to a new day, a new beginning. The light is just pouring in the air. There's no question. This is, the goddess here is Psyche, and this is Cupid. So it's an awakening to the enlightenment of a new love. Good. Well, we've got the insight of this queen, and now we know that there is an opportunity for new love. It's clarified by the Six of Pentacles. There's the scales, there are the coins. In this real world life, we have to maintain balance. Again, this represents the yin and yang, the balance of day to day, knowing how to juggle different aspects. In this particular aspect, it's giving of ourselves, giving our material resources. It can be money, food, clothing, shelter, but time. Time is an incredibly important resource in the material world, the third dimensional world. It's the most important thing possibly that we have is time. So it's the equal reciprocation here, and that's balance. So part of this journey includes contemplation. This is the Hermit card. Deep, deep contemplation, understanding the way of right relationship from the point of view of seeking knowledge. Knowledge here isn't just knowledge in a book form. This is knowledge of life, experience, opening our eyes to the experiences of others so we don't have to learn every mistake or learn from every mistake that there possibly could be by analysis. This is deep learning. It's not squirrel cage head analysis paralysis. It's clarified here by the card for Mabon, which is fall equinox. It says, mountain cabin. There are times when solitude can be healing and enlightening. Yes, we're together with our partner, but we also need time to be alone, and that's creating balance. What do we learn, possibly? We learn the Eight of Cups. This is about walking away from a situation that we know inside out, we have mastery of. It's possibly been very beautiful and maybe the most important part of life so far. But we need to look at, perhaps this is a spirit quest, but we need to look beyond. There's a ship way out there. It's the recognition that we need to step away. Maybe we come back to what it is that we've loved. And this reading is about relationship. So that's a very clear message. it's clarified by back to what you love. Oh, isn't that fascinating? That the 8 is talking about stepping away, but the clarifier is coming back to what you love. And it's asking us to reevaluate our desires and reassess how we make choices. We don't make choices in significant others like we did when we were hormone-driven teenagers. As we get up there, we need to look at how. We can't stay assessing potential partners with past paradigms. So stepping away from it gives us a clear chance to say, yeah, okay, not everybody will come back to what they love if this is representing the partner. Coming back to what you love might mean, yeah, I like living alone, or I would rather go work in an aid community and work with people in the big world as a community. That can bring the balance to life. There's a lot of different options here being offered, and we need the time to step away and assess all the options and all the ways of being in relationship. The 5 of Cups represents the disharmony, heartbreak, loss, grief, but recognizing that even though some of the cups have spilled, there is yet 2 that have not, and there is light in the window. So this tells me that a lot of us will feel grief about giving up something that others around us might say, are you nuts? What on earth? You've always seemed to be in the perfect situation and happy and all of this, and suddenly it's got to go. Let's see, these are typically angel cards. What does this say? So these are, this is an angel surrounding a woman here. Or maybe this is the angel. This card reflects protection, freedom, and success. It won't be quick or easy, but you will succeed, and you are protected along the way. Free yourself of past doubt, fear, and guilt. Let go of fixed expectations. Be flexible, adaptable, and open to new avenues and ideas. A higher power is trying to guide you. So it's very hard to be connected with Source when we feel grief, but grief is a necessary process. So know that if there is something that's got to be given up, that's loved, person, place, whatever, then just know that protection is there. The 6th card is the 2 of Cups. Well, here we go. This was the card I thought should be out, and it is. The 2 of Cups is a little bit more day-to-day than the Lover's card. The 2 of Cups signifies a partnership. There is a joyfulness, but this is about choice. Choice or change. His cup is spilled. Her cup is not. Often this is misidentified as relationship in the context of a reading. This is as much about the self, a person needing to deal with their own internal balance of yin and yang, being at peace with one's choices in one's life, and not careening out of balance all the time because they haven't got their shadow work done. This is a card as much about shadow as it is about the light. We have to come to terms with our issues around balance and relationship. The Rumi card for this looking for, take a knife and cut off the head of fear. So fear, of course, is something that stops us from doing a lot of things. Being creative, being expressive, being joyful, looking for a new job. There's lots of things we fear. We are told by Rumi to cut off the head of fear if we want love. Very powerful. Finally, the power couple here. This card represents King Arthur and Guinevere. It's the Emperor card in a regular tarot. So this is about knowing the external way that we build a life. The Emperor knows how infrastructure works. They know how to deal with a vast kingdom. They know how to ebb and flow and move between responsibilities, and they understand, they have the wisdom to be in a balanced relationship, because any imbalance or distress in the home is going to reflect out and just amplify in the world around us. So we are to own this like a boss. I kind of wonder if he's, that looks like a goblet he's handing her, if he said, you want relationship? Here, hold my beer. Anyway, I'm not trying to make fun of the situation. That's how we have to be confident and making moves. The little Moon and Souls card is about white light. There's appears to be like a bell jar, and there's the light of the night being amplified down. This tells me that the shadow aspects that may be coming up or may be spoken of in some of these cards are having the white light of creation shone upon them. Okay, you can flip the camera, Brian. Originally, when Spirit nudged me to do this, it was supposed to be a special, separate reading, just an added bonus reading for the week. Then as the cards were being selected in my office, the boxes were being selected, the message came through that no, this needs to be the reading of the week and next week. Okay? Because the next week, the last day is the day before, the last day of summer. Summer ends the day after this reading. So we're winding things up at so many levels. Could be, for some, a very serious winding up of relation with their significant other. And so I feel always very humbled about having to bring messages like that are not on an individual level. This is a collective thing. Don't take it too literally. This specific thing might be a career that you've poured all your education years and many, many decades of being connected to a certain industry or occupation, and now it's time to reinvent something that's dear to you, like something beloved. So just look for how this shows up in your life. Anyway, as always, Brian and I thank you for listening and your comments. Love your comments. Comments help. Your thumbs up and subscribing, of course, is a biggie. The closer we get to 1,000 subscriptions, the closer I get to being able to give free readings. We've been trying to get there for 5.5 years. Anyway, we thank you for hitting that title line on the video to expand it and read who the authors are and maybe support them for the decks. And also how to get a hold of us for a private reading or a wedding. I find this so interesting because I'm a minister and it took almost 1.5 years to transfer my ministerial license from one organization we ran to us, just as Moonstar. So maybe you want to get married. Appropriate reading. We appreciate your coffee donations, your e-transfers, your PayPals, all of that. Even the soup that gets dropped at the door. It's wonderful. So until next time, next week, Kitchi Miigwech. Nyoe.